Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hi, welcome to Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. What's up?
It is. I don't know, man. It's Wednesday.
Oh, that's it?
Is there anything that really can be on a Wednesday? Well, I guess it's new comic book day for most folks.
Yes, maybe.
Okay.
It might be new comic book day. I don't know.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
For us, it's
Yes.
another Patreon question day.
Oh,
Patronage
boy.
coming from patreon.com/BumbleKast and Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast.
Yes. We have many questions. We are not going to waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump right on into them with this first one here from Lemon Yuri. I love the Tales Tube video that got released a few weeks ago. Can we expect the change in world building to eventually also affect the IDW comics, or is it going to mostly stay the same? Which I wouldn't mind at all, by the way. I love the Funny Animal People Society.
I don't think we're going to see any humans in the near future, but it all depends on what Sega wants and how they want the brand recognized. Last year, I know the request was no filthy humans. Not their wording, mind you. That's just me being silly. But, that may change.
Stinky. Have you smelled humans? They're gross. Ugh. I'm trying to wash the stink. Been trying to wash the stink of humans off me for practically my entire life, and it's not working. Can't do it. There's a question from Jams. How do you think Tails met Professor Pickle? They seem to be familiar with each other in Unleashed, but what could have made Tails cross paths with this guy and keep in touch with him? Is Tails a secret pickle sandwich lover?
Maybe. I ain't gonna judge. Well, maybe they went to the same web forum area. Maybe Tails has an interest in ancient technologies and civilizations, and in his research he came across Professor Pickle, who is himself a accomplished scholar in the Gaia studies. Or maybe Pickle had no concept of boundaries and heard about this Sonic and Tails duo and emailed Tails and I do say you've traveled all over the planet. Have you seen anything Gaia related? I'm doing a study. Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. My name's Tails. How did you get my email?
Sir, this is a Wendy's. I mean, a McDonald's. Oh, no. Now people are making pickle Tails jokes in the chat. No, guys, no. We do not need someone, the next time Colleen goes on a podcast, we don't need someone getting her to say Pickle Rick lines in the Tails voice. We don't need that, guys. We don't. No, stop. All right, here's one from Archfighter. I saw a while back that you were interested in maybe writing a Star Fox comic. I understand.
Yes.
I am interested in reading a Star Fox comic. I mean, I love the freaking Star Fox comic in Nintendo Power. But anyway, that's a completely different thing. I understand the license holder makes the final decision, but if you were to get the choice, would you keep the OG crew, do what the games did, and start with the OG crew and eventually replace Peppy with Crystal, or start post-Assault? Or maybe even do something totally different?
My pie in the sky, given full control, do what you want scenario would be to start with 64 and tell that story in its entirety. Tell it, and in my mind, that story is basically the easy route to the fake out. And then
you want to remake all the, do another Star Fox remake, because that's all they do is just remake Star Fox over and over and over. I know. You got to start somewhere.
Back to Corneria, they do kind of a hodgepodge of the medium and difficult routes to the actual true final battle.
Yep.
With Starwolf and Andros, and then go on to Dinosaur Planet, then go on to Assault, and then go on to Command, and actually find common elements in some of those alternate endings, stitch those together, and go on from there where Marcus has taken over the team. I want to tell the entire McLeod family saga, from James in flashback stories to everything the Fox goes through to Marcus picking up the torch and finding a final resolution with the blood feud that is with Andros's family. I want this sweeping multi-book, multi-year epic sci-fi drama to hit upon as many of the game accurate notes as possible, fill in the blanks, basically do with Star Fox as I did with Mega Man.
Yeah. I'm here for it. Please, Nintendo, hire this man. You have his phone number or something, or you can find it. BumbleKing.com, contact info, go there. Nintendo, do that. Because that would be amazing. But I'd only read it if you promised you were also going to incorporate the other two new characters from Star Fox 2. You got to bring in some Star Fox 2 stuff.
Oh, Faye and Miyu? Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna say, like, I mean, you'll go back to the well of just about everything, I know, but like, come on, we need to get those guys in there. And yeah, I'm ready. Here's one from Ann Tales. I've only been watching the show for a little while, but I've noticed you two alluding to your long-standing friendship in the episodes I've seen. How long have you two known each other, and how did you two meet? Was it through the Archie comics, happenstance, or something else entirely?
How long have we known each other?
Probably around 2003, 2004-ish. Whenever, I don't know. I mean, Aaliyah's the one who told me you exist.
I mean, basically, we both met through Aaliyah.
Yes,
because the two of you collaborated on Summoning of Spirits.
Well, no, it was even before that. I mean, we just met and started talking with each other because we were on the Overclocked Remix forums.
Well, yeah.
And we just started talking, and then we started pitching an idea of doing a remix album together, and that's where Summoning of Spirits came from.
And that's where I heard of you, because she was talking about, all the work you did on that.
Well, I thought you were... I'm pretty sure we had at least been introduced to each other before then, but yeah, I suppose.
That's the way I remember it, but...
I mean, the timeline is... It's amorphous in my head, too, to be fair. So... and we started working on that album in 2005, so... God. It was only like a year. Yeah, I'd only known her for like a year-ish. A little over a year at that point. Yeah. So, and that was it pretty much. It was the internet. Mm-hmm. Because
what year did you come up to visit Toronto?
2015, which is
God. Really?
I know. Thinking like I was thinking like 2015. 2015, Ian. It does not feel like that at all. It does not. No,
it does not.
No. What's weird is not much has changed since 2015 either. And yet, all sorts of things have changed since 2015.
I was gonna say.
But at the same time, it almost feels like nothing has changed since 2015 too. I don't know, man. Either way, yeah.
That's the first time we met face to face.
No, the first time we met face to face was like 2012 Comic-Con.
Was it? Okay, that's right.
Yeah, you went to San Diego, and I met you guys down there because I got a press pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we hung out for a couple days.
See, this is why Kyle handles all the logistics of the show, because I can't keep it.
I don't know how I remember this. I guess I remember this stuff because it's stuff I want to remember. That might be it.
What does that say about me?
Well, I mean, you're a lot busier than I am, and I don't know, man. I have more time, I guess. Sometimes I have more time to think about this stuff or something. I don't know, man.
To be fair, I completely forgot I did those shows. So
yeah, you did Comic-Con a couple times. I mean, there was the one time I went to Comic-Con with absolutely no plan of how to get in, and got lucky that we met some other people who were leaving just as we were coming, some friends of mine, and managed to sneak our way in with their passes.
Nice.
But that was only the one day, and that was just basically to pick you guys up. So, but that was 2013. maybe 2014. I don't know. It was it had to be 2013 because 2014 I'd moved. I wasn't living there anymore. So yeah, that's wild, man. But yeah, we met in person in 2012. But before that, I'd been friends with Aaliyah for a decade at that point almost.
God.
So, and yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. Hard to think about.
Here we are.
Hard to think about. Yeah, now here we are. We're still doing this podcast 7 years later.
There was a time where this didn't exist, where we as a unit didn't exist. And it's like, really? How?
It's weird.
When?
It's weird.
No.
It's weird to think about because, yeah, it's weird to think about. But the BumbleKast is fairly recent. It's weird. It is weird to think about, though. I agree. Wild. Here's a question from Wolfsbane. So this whole thing with Shadow/Team Dark has riled up fans. Does it ever really bother you when Sega has something rather good, especially considering how well the dynamic with Team Dark is, for example, and then just seemingly pulls a 180 on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Story of my career.
It's frustrating for everybody, I think.
But, it is what it is, and you play with the hand you're dealt. And
unfortunately.
Do the best you can with what you have, and hopefully things turn around later. Cat, stop hitting the mic stand.
Cat, I swear. Don't make me come over there.
You want to be in the BumbleKast?
No.
So you're not going to make a cute noise now, so we're not going to get any of the clicks.
Oh well. You can put up a picture on screen. That'll get butts in seats. Here's one from Sam Cybercat. Curse scenario time. Sega have once again decided that the best way to appeal to the kids today is by giving Sonic a human kid companion. Through a misguided attempt to also appeal to the nostalgia crowd, they're leaning towards bringing back Chris Thorndike in this role. But Helen, the girl in the wheelchair from that one episode of Sonic X, has been suggested as an alternate. If you had any influence over this imaginary decision, would you try to steer them towards using Helen or stick with Chris?
Helen. I mean, Helen by virtue of just being...
Not Chris?
No. But for having mobility concerns is immediately more interesting than here's just another kid. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. Like the one episode that Sonic spends with Helen, he goes zipping around and her wheelchair withstands Sonic speeds by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is going to be the new cool kid to hang out with Sonic, then she's going to be able to do cool stuff with that chair. Tails can trick out that chair. You can actually address, why does she have the chair? Is she paralyzed? Does she just have mobility issues? Does she tire easily? Address the fact that a wheelchair is not a singular signifier for a person. And it doesn't have to be the very special episode to teach you about our disabled friends or handicapable or whatever. It's just have her be part of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a kick-ass chair with wheels on it. So she can go rolling around at the speed of sound,
Got places to go. She's got to follow her rainbow,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be part of why Chris was so grating, is he didn't add anything to the group dynamic.
Right.
Initially, he was a good vehicle to understand Sonic in his world because he would have questions.
Yeah.
But he was always in peril. He was always the one getting in the way or underfoot or holding them back. Except for like the end of season 1. But that's when he actually did something. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I would rather, if we're going to have to go that route, I'd rather see something interesting done with Helen than reinvent the wheel that is Chris.
No. That wheel is wore out. Time to trade it in. Here's a question from Jack the Animator. Hey, Ian and Keith, what's up? My first question is for Ian. Do you ever plan to put Surge and Kit in Sonic Forces Speed Battle? I know you did this with Tangle and Whisper, and I know Surge and Kit are pretty popular lately. Do we get a chance to see them in this or any game in the future, or was that a one-time deal with Tangle and Whisper?
I had nothing to do with Tangle and Whisper's inclusion in Speed Battle. That was a surprise to me. Very happy surprise. Super stoked about it, but I had no influence whatsoever. So if any other characters show up, that's just going to be by virtue of fan demand and Hardlight Studios being cool. I would love to be involved in something with them for sure, but like I had no hand in it. I have no say. I have no push. And even though I do have one contact at Hardlight, I am showing some professionalism by not emailing them all the time going, hey, so there's this idea I have. What could you do this instead? Could you have this character? I'll be your friend. No.
I mean, they're probably under about as many restrictions as you are, to be fair. So, yeah.
I'm sure they get inundated with suggestions for characters and concepts.
Oh, of course.
As it is.
Of course. But I mean, none of them come from you. So that's a different thing. But I know.
It would be cool. I would be super stoked to see more, but that is not up to me. And I have no idea what their metrics are in terms of character usage. Like, was Whisper super well received and that's why she got an alt? Or did somebody on the team just have a neat idea for an alt and they put it in? I don't know. So if you want to see Surgeon Kit, message them on their social media. Say, we want to see him. Do so politely, obviously. Don't spam them, but let them know what you want to see.
Yeah. Surge Kit and Starline. Throw them all in there. And before we take a break, we're going to get into this question here from Adaria. Dr. Starline, pre-rejection / being fired, Thunderbolt and Agent Stone. Why not add Wendy Nagas to the mix, even if she does not strike me as the very devoted type? All strive to be Eggman's Employee of the Month. How does it go?
Kind of like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon where they're all trying to blow each other up.
Yeah.
Various comedic effect.
Yeah.
Like, that, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how Stone and Knuckles get along.
I'm being told Stone wins.
Does he now? Ooh, interesting. But I don't know. Yep. It's hard to say with Stone because I haven't seen him beyond the first movie. And there he was certainly loyal, but he didn't seem particularly threatening.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt is very threatening, but she has zero poker face. So she's very easy to see coming and to manipulate.
Yeah.
Starline and Wendy would be the biggest problem because they actually know how to show some restraint and to plot ahead, but they also will not pull their punches. So it would probably come down to the two of them, from my understanding of the characters right now. Starline might have the edge because he would make a point of doing a deep dive on Wendy's wiki page on the Eggnet to learn everything about her before making a move, whereas Wendy would probably have the arrogance to think that she has the magic. She can do anything she wants by herself.
Meanwhile,
I could be wrong, though. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.
Meanwhile, Snively's just plotting a takeover. Yep.
Snively's still locked in that prison cell.
Yeah, well, let him rot.
He's got his Pop-Tart for the month. He'll have to deal.
Yep. Woof. Let's take a quick break and then return with more BumbleKast. Wouldn't it be funny if we returned with something else instead? And we're back. Jump right into this question here from Ava Arctic. With the Felicia Day having a society ranking structured around clothing, couldn't this lead to someone trying to exploit the system and fake or steal a higher rankings clothes? Or was there a way to know what was faked / stolen?
I'm sorry, the who?
The Felicia Day. That's what I said. It was intentional. It's the Fila Day. It's the Fila Day, but from Archie. Yeah, it's the Fila Day from Archie.
That's fun.
But every time I see it and read it, I read Felicia. I see it as Felicia Day. So I just read it that way, and I'm like, is anybody going to catch it?
that would have improved the story 100-fold. I'll tell you that.
I mean, she improved practically everything. Yes, so.
But to the point, I would imagine that their culture would take that into account. So, like, you can't just steal a police badge and claim authority. So if you were to steal the queen's mantle and present yourself as the new queen, that would be ultra taboo, and they'd probably gut you out like a fish right there. So I would imagine they've taken that into account, because there would have been that one time that one person stole the fedora of power. I was like, "Milady," and took over all Philadelphia culture until he turned against him. And then from that day hence, fedoras were outlawed amongst the Philadelphia. Where am I going with Indians?
Oh, you're pronouncing it Philadelphia? Oh, headcanon ruined. Probably is actually pronounced Philadelphia. And now you are all miladies. No, down, bad. Here's one from Death Hero 61. Rush from Mega Man seems to have a ridiculously good sense of smell and hearing, tracking the skull egg, detecting surprise attacks. When countering Espio Man, what exactly did he smell? I imagine a roboticized robot master wouldn't really have an odor, would it? Also, is Rush equipped with the same thermal imaging rock and the other robot masters have?
Well, Espio Man had to traverse some kind of terrain that would come with whatever was on those surfaces. So maybe Rush was detecting, what was on his hands and feet, and realizing those scents did not make sense in proximity.
Maybe the stench of the former body is still smellable on the roboticized body. You don't know.
Wily Tech just happens to have a certain evil scent to it. Who knows?
Or maybe it's just either machine oil, something like that, or maybe it's not actually him smelling anything, but it's the smelling, the act of smelling that activates the whatever other sensors he would have, Or
maybe he got lucky and he was just bluffing.
Or that, yeah.
But I imagine he'd have the same sensors and such that came standard with the other robots.
Yeah. And here's one from Fire Rat XY. Now, I know most Sonic characters' bodies are more than enough of a weapon for them, but if you had to try and give characters signature weapons like Amy's hammer and Whisper's Wispon, what would you give them? I mean, Styx has a stick, so...
She's got her boomerang.
Oh, yeah, that too. I forgot. Yeah, she got the boomerang.
Knuckles, I imagine, could get a suite of other Knuckle upgrades, like the shovel claws or the maximum overdrive heat Knuckle golden, whatever they were called in Sonic Adventure.
Mm-hmm. Shadow's got a freaking gun.
Yeah,
just a straight up freaking gun. Just straight up murder weapon right there in Sonic the Hedgehog. Yep.
I mean, Tails has had a variety of ray guns and explosives in the past across multiple titles.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense he would be kitted out with some kind of tech. Sonic, giving Sonic a weapon is weird. I mean, yeah, he had the Caliburn, sure.
Yeah.
And that worked with his general moveset, but having him carry something in general just seems wrong. Again, Black Knight worked fine for what it was, but it seems like it breaks up the silhouette. It feels like it's a weight that he's carrying. He needs something that felt like it was an extension of what he had. So either some kind of like gloves, maybe armored gloves, armored knuckles of some kind, but he's not really a puncher. So maybe something on the feet, some kind of weaponized shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe give him Velvet's stiletto boot out of Tales of Berseria. I don't know. It's hard to give Sonic a weapon. And like, even if you gave him like something to extend the spines, like some kind of helmet or individual spine extenders, it still feels like it's adding weight to him, and he should be lightweight and nimble. So it's hard to think of him with a weapon.
Steel toes.
Yeah.
Something just integrated into his shoes. It's probably the easiest thing I can think of.
Rouge uses a variety of small explosives. I can see her.
She has bombs, yeah.
I can see her using, anything that, is handy.
Cream gets I like this one. Cream gets a knife, and oh no, it does not end well for her enemies. But then she also has cheese. So
Tangle gets 3 boxing gloves, 1 for each hand and 1 for the tail.
Dear Tangle, how do you type with boxing gloves on your hands? And tail. Omega, yeah, he is the weapon.
Omega is the weapon.
Yes.
Like, quite literally, he has the arsenal built into him.
He is the weapon. Yeah. I
mean, SB already has his various shuriken and kunai.
Yeah.
Charmy can stab somebody with his butt. That's built in.
Yeah, luckily it doesn't pull out like a real bee. Pull his abdomen off when he...
God.
This is why we do not have accurate... This is why we do not let the animals be accurate to reality. Because that would be frightening. I'm seeing a suggestion here of giving Vector a baseball bat. Maybe?
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, just imagine the ending to the chaotic story in Heroes and put a bat in his hands. Some nerve promising what you ain't got.
Yeah. He'd go from detective to mobster real quick that way.
Team Chaotix, they're detectives. They'll break both your knees.
Frightening. I'm scared. Yeah. Scary, man. It's just scary. All right. Next question here comes from Sonic. Is the metal virus made with nanobots or is it pure liquid? If so, how can liquid have programming? Was the programming really mutating? And that's what caused the Zombots to go rouge? I think they mean rogue. Or was that misconception by Eggman? How could the Zombot programming mutate? I heard programming can't mutate in real life. How could Sonic's running break down the metal virus? What about Sonic speed caused it to break down? And how did Tails plan apply that process to a cure? You're applying real life logic to cartoon hedgehog stuff. Maybe don't. I'm just saying.
I figure metal virus was itself like nano machines, and I'm talking like nano cellular level machinery.
Nano.
When you group enough of it together, it takes on the appearance of a viscous liquid.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Neo Metal goes all liquid metal, and he's programmed.
Yeah. So, the individual metal viri. What is a plural viruses?
I don't know.
Viruses, viri.
Is it viruses or viri? Yes. Also, also you leave your answers down in the comments below.
Each individual one had its programming, so it's not the liquid itself; it's the mass. It's the individual machines within that mass.
Mm-hmm.
The programming itself did actually mutate. Eggman was not wrong about that, and it did that because it's a robot that is replicating itself multiple times over, and with that replication, there comes errors.
Mm-hmm.
You get errors just transferring files. Normally, we're talking fantasy mechanical virus. It's going to do the same.
Need some error correcting memory in that thing. Man, what the heck, Eggman? Think about this. Think, man, think.
You need to debug the planet.
Obviously, you'd never plan ahead for anything, Eggman. God.
Sonic's speed breaks it down the same way that his speed fixed time in generations. And how did Tails plan to apply that? By the same rationale, figure out how that works to begin with.
Magic. That's what it is. It's all magic. Don't tell Sega, though. They don't like magic. Here's one from Invade Turbo Tunis. Are there any stories or scenes you were surprised that got the okay from Sega, IDW, and Archie specifically?
Pretty much the entirety of the IDW run.
Well, yeah, the Metal Virus, I know, was the big one. You were surprised.
Well, I thought Neo Metal was going to be rejected, too. So I didn't know if Tangle or Whisper would be approved. I didn't know if any of their miniseries would be approved. The Diamond Cutters as a concept, like everything was kind of a maybe, yes, okay. And
how dark you want to go with this? Oh, that dark? Okay. Weird. You haven't gone this dark in the game storytelling in a decade. What the heck's going on?
As for Archie, gosh, it's been so long.
Well, I know you've pitched Iron Dominion as a joke.
Yeah.
But we brought that one up a couple times.
Hey, boss, what if we did a whole story starring everyone's favorite Monkey Khan? Yeah, that actually works. No.
And then some people liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
We got some really cool character designs out of it, and we got Conquering Storm, who's freaking badass. So I'm okay with it, but I mean, yeah.
I don't know. The Iron Dominion seems to be, in general, there's like a few highlights that people really liked.
Yeah.
And then in general, it's like, yeah, it was okay. Like, nobody hated it, but nobody was like over the moon about it. It was just fine. I was like, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, well, monkeys in comics, they do well, Any other ones? I mean, you had a lot. I know there were a lot fewer restrictions on Sega's side with Archie. They kind of looked the other way for some stuff.
It was different.
But I guess it was a different way. But
like a lot of stuff had been grandfathered in, but they were also starting to pay more attention to some stuff about the time I came on board. Like the whole Mobius X years later thing, they started to crack down on because you couldn't show the characters aging, you couldn't show them having families, they couldn't have children, and it's like, well, they did that for like 2.5 years before, and we're resolving it. Throw us a bone here. So,
yeah,
but I'm sure there was something, but it's been so long. Mostly what I remember is the roadblocks and how we got around them. I can't really immediately think of let me pitch this and see if it flies. Oh crap, it did.
How well did they receive post reboot generally? Do you remember?
I remember we ran into some bumps with the Sonic Unleashed material.
Uh-huh.
There was confusion because they didn't seem to understand we were doing a retelling of events. They were seeing it as after the events of the game.
Ah, okay.
So the fact that Chip was around or that the Gaia temples were around or any of that was like, no, that already happened. It's like, in the games, yes, but in the comic, we're doing something else. But back then, we could only show Neo Metal in flashback.
Right.
That was a special occasion. And then IDW, he's the star villain for an arc. So I don't know, and it's
it's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, different people doing different approvals on different days. It happens. Here's a question from Shaggy Dog. I was wondering if you feel like Blaze's inclusion in Sonic 06 was bad for her character, since she already had a pre-established character and backstory in Rush, but was basically a completely different person in 06. And do you think the Blaze in 06 should be considered a different character than the Blaze in other games? Additionally, do you think it would have been better if she was replaced by an entirely new and different character in 06? Thanks, and sorry for the long question. That was not long. You were fine.
No.
We've gotten very long questions before. That was not long. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't... No, please don't consider her a different character. It's already a mess as it is. Having multiple Blazes run around is not going to fix the matter.
Here's the problem. Sonic 06 was unfinished in more ways than one. That includes the story. They did not get the chance to revise it with Blaze's new introductions, probably. That's probably what happened. So,
I mean, in terms of
different teams not talking to each other, too, is probably another part of it. But anyway, who knows?
I mean, her role in Silver's story could have been filled by another character because she doesn't really interact with much anybody else in the cast.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like Silver needed somebody there to be the other angel on his shoulder versus Mephiles. So I don't want to say that she served no purpose, but it could have been another original character to serve the same narrative role. And it certainly would have been cleaner continuity-wise. But it is what it is.
Maybe Blaze was just all in Silver's head. She was all just a...
God.
It was all just a dream. Yep.
She was not the dreams of his absolution.
You know what's interesting? That's pretty neat about that song. It's a remix of Green Hill Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. Didn't quite catch it at first, but yep, it's there. We got a question here from Finest Cacophony. Hi, Ian and Keith. Lyle, Kyle. Hope you gents are doing good. My finest questionophony is this. Everyone seems to have an underlying fear of making Vanilla angry. Now, I guess she's a mom, and angry mom equals pain, but there must be more to this. So, Ian, when are you going to reveal to us that Vanilla was an underground street brawler with an undefeated champion's belt and a meat-cutting six-pack? This is the deep lore we clearly need to make Sonic whole again. Please, Lore Father, we beg. Thanks for reading my dramatic question. Stay healthy and have a good day, guys.
Well, we all know that Cream dotes on her mother and follows by her example. We also know that Cream at 6 can keep up with Sonic and has a heat-seeking missile named Cheese. Where did she learn how to fight and fly? Obviously, her mother.
Of course.
Cream can only, fly for short periods of time. Vanilla's like fighter jet quality. Those ears just open and whoosh, she's gone. She doesn't attack with one Chao. She attacks with a garden. Where did they come from? You don't ask those questions.
No.
You just find cover and pray.
I'm getting real Miss Meekley vibes from Vanilla here.
What happened to Cream's dad? He asked too many questions.
What happened to Cream's dad? You don't want to know. And tying into this one, actually, interestingly enough, we got our final patron question for this week come to us courtesy of Professor Rye. You can weaponize wisps. Why not Chao?
Because one turns into a laser cannon, the other one turns into a super soaker. One willingly charges the battery of some kind of bazooka. The other one screams and fights as you cram it into the canister.
Water is a very, very potent weapon, though.
Oh, it can be, sure.
It is. But you can cram it in. Yeah, right? It can be crammed in. That's the important part.
I mean, if you're a heartless monster, sure.
Well, I mean, this is Sonic's world. There's a few heartless monsters around.
I mean, honestly, if you're not going to use them as the weapon fodder, the best you can do is raise an army of Dark Chao, but the worst they're probably going to do is a series of pranks. Like, suddenly the neighborhood is racked with garden hoses tied in knots, and porch piracy is at an all-time high. It's not really that large of an issue, but it would be annoying.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cheese is very hyper-competent. Why couldn't you have more Chao like Cheese?
Vanilla can only train so many at a time.
I guess.
We don't know how many evolutions Cheese has gone through. How many times is he coming out of that cocoon? We don't know what life he's on. He may be pure distilled Chao.
He's been through so many lives. He's gone from being numbers to letters. ran out of actual numbers. Now his life counter is just hexadecimal.
He has long since reached Chalvana.
Yeah.
He has unlocked all of his chakras.
Damn it, Ian. Boo this man. Boo. And I'm still laughing. Because I laugh at everything. You guys who listen to the show know that. All right, we are at the end, though, right? This is it. This is all we got for today.
We're done. But before we go, we have to give a big thank you to all the people who make this show possible. Big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotnik Home, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Mike B., Coupling Crew 128, DK, Duaz Dizdin, Dave M., Andrew D., Off, Salute Your Cat, Jay Frost, Scruffy Matt, Chris A, Sony, Hero Flight 13, John M, Noni, Ryan D, Jib, Don B, Yummy M, Lee HK, Lisa M, Chevelle, Blue Title Gamer, Fiona M, Ben W, Tick Tick, Final Neil, Xander Under the Painter, Jonathan D, Fire Red XY, Nimric, Solaris Stain, Dadler the Dalek, Godzilla, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Daniel B, Pedanti Cat, the name is X Dove, Red the Supernamic, Axis Pandolce, Quaggle Gaggle, Chad, Ava Arctic, Jennifer H, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Les, Professor Rye, Preston M, Cameron H, Sapphire Scarletta, Alphamon or Yukina, Noah S, Chase L, Red W, Kojiro Highwind, Joey the Sonic Fan, Awesome Cakester, Kimiko, Radry, Callum Q, Just a Mountain Soul, John the Real Waluigi, Owen BD, Alex 120, Ty H, Maddie H, N Zephyr, KJB, T Ranger Crooker, and Tails, Dreamboatin, Mox, Lewis J, Derusiful, 4 Sonic Fan, Finest Cacophony, Techno Cinema, The Marble Gardener, Arc Fighter, Goosey Tante, Agent Kaz, Lacey M, Unlikely Veronica, Michael P, Spiral Warrior, Shaggy Dog, Jack the Animator, Ty Cyan, Non-Dull, Rhythm Raccoon, Damien B, Hedgie, The Cartoonist, Lemon Yuri, and Idira.
That was certainly a list of people right there, buddy. Woo-wee! Nice! Awesome.
We will see you Friday for the standard edition of the Q&A. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we'll see you then.
See you later. They weren't booing, they were saying BumbleKast. BumbleKast.
I don't care. I'm proud of Chowkras.
That's why we're booing, because it's a good one. How dare you come? How dare you, sir? It's a terrible pun, and that's what makes it good. Because if the pun isn't terrible, then why even make it?
Exactly.
What's the point? Good puns?
So,
screw that. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. Let's talk about him while he's gone. Yeah, I know, that Ian guy. Ugh, gross. Writing about Sonic? How dare he? Nobody likes Sonic. Especially Sonic fans. Sonic fans hate Sonic. It's weird, but what can you do? Gotta have something, I guess. I don't mean they hate Sonic the character. I mean they just hate Sonic. Like, everything about him. Just absolutely miserable all the time. I think most people like other characters more than Sonic. But I like Sonic. I'm a simple man with simple needs. You put Sonic on something, I'll probably like it. Except not always. I mean, sometimes you get something like Sonic Lost World where I'm like, nope, never mind. Not a big fan. Can't stand his blue rat face. Yeah, well, it happens.